We're good.
We are.
Thank you for doing this, Rick.
My pleasure, my friend.
I feel like I shouldn't have to thank you because you're always so openly willing to do anything to help the community. It's so normal for you.
Well, I grew up here. Oh my gosh. Been here my whole life, in Southern California.
Yeah.
Went to school out of state for a while, but out of the city, but been here in this whole area my whole life. So love this Huntington Beach, Westminster area.
Yes, you definitely sank your teeth in, especially you taught in a local high school.
Right here across the street, Ocean View High School was my first job in 1976,
Right.
and then Irvine, and then I went to the college level, Cerritos College, Golden West College, and finished up at Santa Ana High School and Santa Ana College. So I actually taught at UC Irvine for 16 years as well. So I've been all over. The area I know as far as athletes, who they are, what they do.
Yeah. So you're basically a career teacher, guidance of that sort. You could say that's
career
primarily what you had
educator.
done.
I opened up that high school, Ocean View, in 1976.
That is wild.
And
Just
then,
before I was born, that's for sure.
Evolved from there. I just saw my career grow. Ended up as a professor at UC Irvine and various community colleges. Also was a community college athlete, high school athlete.
We're talking about
And then,
thousands of students you've probably overseen in your time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, I run into them all the time.
All right, now I know this is Rick, Lara, by the way. It's one of our very first, I want to say, first 3 members here at the
Probably, I remember
Labs
that,
Cold
yeah.
Plunge. And I remember I even spoke to you.
Yeah, I called you
Yeah.
because I was looking for a cold plunge place, and there was one at Costa Mesa, and when I found out it was here, I went, oh my God, man, this is lights out, man.
Serendipitous, huh?
Yeah, you can't beat it. So yeah, and my gym is here, and I live down the street, so boom, boom. It's a simple fix.
Yeah, it's a blessing because I remember I live out in Garden Grove, which is probably like a 20-minute drive from here. And just, I'm also like you, I was on Yelp, I was on Google searching for the nearest cold plunging location. And for you to have one basically right around the corner from where you live, right where you used to teach.
Blessed, man.
Yeah.
It's really funny how it all kind of comes back. You
Yeah.
know?
I felt like the karma serves you more so than it did me because of the location.
It was weird, yeah. They say you always come back to your roots. I've been all over,
Yeah.
And then to come back right here, when I retired, 46 years teaching, 28 of those coaching,
That's
and
a
then
blessing.
right here in a very comfortable element.
And you did it right, because a lot of teachers in today's world, they're complaining about insufficient, salaries or whatnot. And
Never had a bad day, and I'll be honest with you. For the time an educator, in high school you work 184 days.
Okay, that's
Remember, there's 352
third
days.
of the year. Yeah.
So think about that. Only 184 days. You're off.
Does that include summer school?
You don't have to do summer school. Your summers are off.
You were the smart guy.
every conceivable holidays off, paid.
Yeah.
Full benefits, medical health for your family. You can't beat that.
Dude, if you put that into perspective, 108 out of 365 days, that's under a third of the days that you work.
And you're done by, if you have the right schedule, you could be done at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Get another job, which is what I did. Coaching, and then I realized I wanted to go at the college level, which I did. And I worked various side jobs like Disneyland Hotel, Improv Comedy Club.
Yeah, you were saying that prior to teaching, right?
Yeah, and I love doing teaching and coaching was, there, but I wanted to do other things too. So worked at a market, checker, while I was teaching and coaching. So
so you got a couple of things going.
Yeah, a couple. I always believe in side hustles. My dad always did the same thing. So
I think that's what most people got to learn from you, the side hustles, because
you have to do. I just did it because I loved it. I get bored easy. So you teach, you coach, you go, hey, what else can I do? And then heck, but I never looked at. I never worked a day in my life. Everything I've ever done, I've loved doing, and I wanted to do it. Disneyland Hotel, Improv Comedy Club. I wanted to work in a market, checker. I wanted to be a food server. I wanted to be a bartender. That's not work. You're just having a good time getting paid.
Yeah, right
so
on.
That's the way I looked at it.
Yeah.
Teaching, I just loved what I never, like I said, never had it. I woke up thinking I have to go to work. I woke up thinking I get to go to teach.
Yeah,
I get to go there,
Not many people have that availability. Because you're a unique situation here, because a lot of the guys I had spoken to, of whom are teachers, they'd always say something about, well, we have to bring home a lot of work to grade. So did you have to go through that process?
Yeah, well, my subjects, a speech and English major, mostly speech communication, but also English.
My worst subject.
Yeah, at the high school and college level, but you have to know how to do make assignments and grade. I never believed in homework. That's one thing.
Okay.
Everything I did, I believed I'm getting paid for that time period. Let's just say it's a 2-hour class. I'm going to give 100% of that to myself. In each 2 hours, and every student. And then what you do on your spare time.
That's with all the 4 schools you've been to?
Yeah, everywhere I've been to. Yeah, I've never believed in homework.
No homework.
Now, if you don't finish, I don't see the logic in it. I mean,
explain.
I'm getting paid to. I'm getting paid. If you're in my classroom, I'm getting paid to teach you here. You have a job, you have a girlfriend, you have a boyfriend, you have other things going on. I don't feel it's my prerogative to infringe on your time.
I love that.
Yeah, I really don't. And I've always believed.
Regardless of the age?
No.
Okay.
People have a lot of things going on. You got relationships, you've got kids, you've got. When I was in college, I had students that were older than me, in their 50s and 60s, taking my speech class, or English class. So yeah, everything was done there, and it's always worked out for me.
Now I can imagine people out there that are watching, of whom are teachers, their probably remarks would be like, "Yo, I mean, we weren't privileged to have such a schedule, but you're saying that there's ways around it. You can make it work."
You have to be very prepared, lesson plans, game planning, what you want for each student. For example, I would teach a speech 100 class, but I couldn't teach that class the same way as another class because they're different students.
Yeah.
See, a lot of teachers take this cookie cutter curriculum and they teach it to all 5 classes, even though the makeup of those 5 classes are completely different. You might have kids that maybe aren't that smart. I don't want to say that, but just, they're not
different levels of comprehension,
levels of learning, different styles of learning. Shy kids, quiet kids, kids that don't speak English that well.
Engaged or disinterested kids too.
Yeah, you can't teach them the same way.
Right. Okay.
But it's a lot now. The problem with education is they do. They're lazy. So
now, you're able to make this work. How does that compare to the average person? Because you find extracurricular things to do.
Most people think I'm crazy. I always stayed busy, which I think is a double-edged sword, only because in 2012 I was diagnosed with cancer, and one of the reasons was I was only getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep.
Some 12 years
10
ago.
10 years.
Okay.
Yeah. For 10 years straight, I was getting like maybe 4. I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Get to my class at 6.
You were still teaching when you were after the diagnostic?
Yeah, and then teach 4 or 5 periods at Irvine, drive to Golden West College.
You're an animal.
2.5 hours of wrestling.
Who does that?
Shower, drive to the Disneyland Hotel by 6:30 and work till 12:30. Guest services at the hotel, and then come home and repeat.
Now, was this cancer related to overworking?
Yes, yes, that was a thing. The doctor told me, "Well, have you ever heard the phrase, you're working yourself to death?" I said, "Well, yeah, I've heard of it. You've done it. Your body needs time to
rest, to balance out.
You need recuperation. You need rest." And I started studying after I, got cancer, which I beat, colon cancer.
Well, congrats to that, man.
Yeah,
That's a big deal right there.
I did a lot of research on. That's what I really got. I mean, I've always been a fitness guy. I've always been a workout. I was a wrestler. I was a football player, so always lifting. But I've always looked for different ways, and so I started researching sleep and researching diet and stuff. Although my diet isn't that great, but
hey, you already bridged that midlife point, so you're good. Now you're good for the rest of that.
I'm 70 now, so but I started, things like that's where the cold plunge came into play.
Okay.
And
this is where the beginning of the interview starts.
Yeah.
That's what inspired you to.
Yeah, I researched.
maintain.
I studied what great athletes did. LeBron, Tom Brady, every Kobe. What do they do? And even though I was no longer a competitive athlete, I just wanted to see what they did to, and a lot of what they did or do, I do. The cold plunges. A lot of people are doing it now.
Why not model after the?
I saw Mark Wahlberg, the actor. He's really into
Which one?
Mark Wahlberg.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He cold plunges. He has one every morning. He's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, he shares the same tub, interest that we do because we have the same exact tub as he does. Okay.
Yeah. So he's in that, and so
Mark's a legend.
Yeah.
If you're in
he
the
has so many movies.
Hollywood scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My girlfriend and I went on vacation a couple times to this hotel, and they had cold pool.
A cone?
Cold pool. Cold plunge. A cold
yes.
pool.
Yes.
And it was like a swimming pool, but it was like cold. I went, oh my God. And I actually first cold plunge at probably in the late 70s. Not Holiday Health Spa, but there was a Jacqueline Health Spa over here on Warner. And they had a cold pool where it was deep. It was like this deep. It was like a pool.
Yeah.
Maybe not big, but maybe 5 by 5 feet, but maybe 4 feet deep. And you went in there. I remember I went in there. I went, but I'll never forget how I felt afterwards.
Yeah, it was probably like a 60-degree tub, because I know a lot of the spas I'm a spa addict.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know even for a normal person who's never tried cold plunging before, 60, it's still a frigid.
Yeah.
Good training for the body.
Yeah, it is. And so I started, I fell in love with it. So then I started doing the cold shower thing. And my shower used to get really cold, but now it's like nothing now.
Yeah.
First thing when I take a shower in the morning, it's cold. It's bright cold. I do everything except shave.
Yeah.
So because of, this has put me, in a different light as far as cold.
So the showering, cold showering,
Yeah.
and some of the experiences before, past experience kind of leads up to this point.
And going back to the cancer thing, I remember I read something on aqua therapy at the beach. The ions in the air, in the beach, and everything, the salt water, how our body's comprised of sea water. So as soon as I was able to go in the water, I went to the beach every day for a year, almost a year.
Yeah.
Every day.
Recharging
I didn't
your
take
body.
A day off.
Wow.
I would go, I remember I wasn't in a relationship, so I was kind of like living by myself, doing my own thing, still working and everything, but I would go, even though on the stormiest days right here, go down to the cliffs, jump in, even if it was for like 2 or 3 minutes, just people looking like, this guy's crazy.
Wow, yeah.
But the salt water really helped heal me.
No, I agree.
And so it was really cool. So I kind of got used to that. I loved the way it made made me feel. So here we are. I to the cold plunging. So I saw.
Yeah.
I got to find a spa that has one. Called all around. I accidentally called this number or something. And I probably talked to you.
Yeah, that was me.
I said, "Where are you?" Oh man,
we were on the phone for almost an hour just talking about this. And I came here and I went,
"Eureka!
Yeah,
I have found it." And and everybody's different. I'm not one of those guys that can sit. I don't want to sit there for 6 minutes. In the research I have done, talking with my orthopedic surgeons, everybody's different. Like you said, 60 degrees might be different. Some need 30 degrees. Me, just as long as it's a cold, it could be usually the 40's fine for me, the 50. But
I know your MO. Yours is, if you lay it brick by brick, have fun with it, everything's going to work itself out.
I like to, for me, what works for me is I like cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot. I mean,
that's your routine right there.
That's the routine, because it gets the muscle, see, it's better probably than I do. When that muscle's cold like that, it just like this. But then when you get that hot, like when it was really hot, it just like expands all those capillaries.
Yeah.
And what you're doing is you're like providing growth and heal to all this inflammation, and that's what works for me.
I feel like it loosens everything up, like all your muscles, capillary, they surrender basically.
And some guys will sit there like for 6 minutes. For me, I can't. I'm very ADHD. That's another thing too. That's probably why I work so many different jobs. I can't sit still for a long time. So I'll go maybe a minute here, minute here, minute here, minute here, 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there. Sauna for 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes. So I'm getting it. My body's doing different things. It's almost like a HIIT workout.
Yeah. In terms of alternating tubs.
Exercise, you do the same thing. Your body's going to get used to it.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. Well, what you should do is try this. Dr. David Kim, who wrestled at Harvard, and he's my orthopedic surgeon. He says, try.
He wrestled?
He wrestled at Harvard.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And he said, try the...
Smart guy in physical.
Yeah, try the orthopedic surgeon, and try the, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold.
Yeah.
And I remember back in college, the athletic trainer said the same thing. Just don't... Your body's going to get used to the heat. Your body will get used to cold. Okay? So then now you're not doing anything. Yeah. Now you've got to shock it against hot.
Yeah.
Like when you had the thing like really hot, like 112.
Yeah.
When it got cold and then really hot, it was like, oh man.
You and I can handle that.
Yeah, it took me a while to get used to it, but I liked what it did to your body.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong.
Exactly.
It seems like if you go here, it's like you're getting another workout.
That's exactly what I felt. Every time you push yourself to the intense hot soak, I feel like I ran probably at the 10-mile
and even
marathon.
The cold because your body's, I don't know what it's doing, but it's like getting so intensified. So I like it.
Yeah, it's what it is it's compression, because when you think about it in the physical world, everything requires compression. Gasoline is the decompression of that compression. Everything physical requires it. So we're training our body to naturally expand out against that compression. So I believe that's what gives you the energy to move.
But just I like the way it feels, the euphoria it feels like afterwards. Not that I want to take a nap, because I'm going to go to my physical therapy and just when I leave here. But you feel there's a state of mind that I don't want to say it's like a natural high. It's like, man, you're at peace with yourself. You're really, any problems you have, you leave out there, and in here you forget about them. I guess you freeze them out of your brain. And then I love the sauna too. I mean, that's a combination I didn't think you had. So when you have the hot and the cold, that's awesome. But then you have that sauna, then do the cold.
Oh yeah,
that's you can't beat that. I don't know if any other spas even have that. But
you definitely have explored as much patterns as we have to offer. You know what I mean here?
I do, and I'll do different things. Like maybe I just want to soak my knees, or I try different variances. Like I'll end on a cold plunge.
I'm sorry, you said
I'll end on a cold plunge. So cold, that's it.
On cold.
And then sometimes I'll end on the hot tub. You know, I try different things. I personally now like getting on the cold plunge and like letting yourself dry naturally. And just
you figure. Do you figure you can use it sort of like a coffee replacement or supplement or substitution?
I'm not a big coffee drinker. However, I will have coffee after a meal with my Baileys. But it's I don't want to say I'm addicted to it, but I need, this is a big part of my life now. Even though you're only here for a short, the cool thing is it's a short thing. You don't need to be here for a long period of time.
You're one of our quickest members. You're in and out.
I mean, half hour. I'm here a half hour for the most part. 3:30. So there's people. I think there's people that leave quicker than me. I've been here where.
You're an honorary guest, man. Since day one.
I don't want to do. I don't want to stay longer than 30 minutes, usually because I can't. But I like my routine. And then I'm out, shower, and then I'm done.
A hot and cold tango right there.
It's just like, it gives my body different things. And you dip your head in there, hold it under for a while, and you come up. It's like,
well, that's cool.
It's just a great feeling. So
now, like from a perspective of, so we know what your routine is. You like to bounce around between the hot and the cold, alternating.
One guy was in here. I think he did. He was in that the very cold one for like 8 minutes.
Oh yeah, I think it was Lucas.
And then he went. He went into the sauna for like 12 minutes. And then he went into the cold. And he was done.
Yeah, that was it.
And he was in that cold for like 8 minutes, man.
Here.
And then when he got out, he was. See, I don't want to get hypothermia either. You know, you have to know your body. What everybody has a boundary. Has their limits. So I have to know. I'm 70, so maybe I can't do some of the things these young bucks could do. You know, 30s and 20s. So I have to be. I'm very cautious of what my body can withstand, how far to push myself.
I could imagine a lot of our members. We do have about a good, maybe 10 to 15% are extremists. I mean, you could. Cold plunging is already considered the extreme side of society. Now within that subset of people, we have like the ones that are the 15% that'll go in there for 10 minutes at a time.
In the coldest one. That provides no benefit for me, at least in my world. I mean, it's like, okay, let's see if I can take this. Okay, that's good, but is it really giving me any kind of a benefit, or is it negating anything? You know? So I just kind of go with what works with me, which I've seen other athletes do. You know, and
I got to see the dichotomy of that, which is like you're the more casual. You have a sustainability approach. You're very sustainable, even in your career as a 46-year teacher.
Yeah.
Most of the kids that do come through here, they're pretty much, hyped up with what the industry has to say about cold plunging. Yeah. So I almost feel as though I was somewhat on the fence. I'm half and half. I like to lay a brick at a time, but the other half of me or a third of me that go, hey man, I like to get in as much of this food at this buffet as much as possible, crank it up, let's see how much I can handle. I'm young now, let's fucking just go in. So I could see the duality of that.
Yeah, some people are like that way, and that's fine too. Mm-hmm. Like I said, you have to go with what are like athletes and students.
Yeah, for extreme athletes, I'd recommend that.
Everybody learns differently. That's the thing I learned from in my education, because I could maybe and I did very well in high school and college. Mm-hmm. Double major, English and speech, master's degrees too. Mm-hmm. I was working on my doctorate for a while. But I probably only had 5 good teachers and coaches in my life.
Yeah.
Maybe 5. Mm-hmm. I'm talking high school through college.
Good. That have taught you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now
maybe 5.
Oh, wow. Now, I'm sure you're one of those 5s for people's top 5.
That teachers that I had. Yeah. So, but I had a lot of bad ones. Mm-hmm. Not bad, but just average. You could tell they were just.
How many teachers would you say you've had?
How many teachers I've had?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Well, go through elementary school. I had high school.
Maybe you're saying about 50.
Oh.
So would you say a 10% likability
maybe more,
rate?
A little more, only because college.
Okay.
And all those professors and.
Sure, that's like about. You go through about 30.
They were bad, but I only had like 4 or 5 that just really taught me something and cared about me and that kind of thing. Yeah. So I told myself, I'm going to do everything. I look at all the bad ones I had, not the average ones, but I'm not going to do that. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do what these guys did and kind of incorporate different things. And I've gone to other colleges and watched other coaches coach. Mm-hmm. I was at SC. I would go to every SC practice and watch Pete Carroll in the summer.
Learning it from all the other coaches.
For 5 years, I went to every summer practice.
Yeah.
And I would watch it because I teach summer school.
You were at Pete Carroll's camp? Yeah, I was there for college at USC. That was my only term there, 2000 and I believe it's 2001 to 2003. He
went there in 2000 and left it, I think, 09 or 2000.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was there. In fact, I was working on my PhD.
Oh, rad! At USC?
Yeah.
That is amazing. We went to school in the same year. What the?
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
Well, I only went for.
I was stalking you the entire time without realizing it.
No, but it was night. It was a night class. But at any rate, yeah. So the point being, I like watching other teachers teach and coach, and you can see, you watch the bad ones. Okay, I'm not doing that, but you watch the good ones and incorporate some of what they do into what you need to do. Yeah,
and that's how you've basically structured your a sense of well-being.
Yeah,
because you've learned from Kobe, LeBron,
Tom Brady, all the greats, what they do. Any athlete, okay, what's their workout routine? What do they do? And sometimes I would try what they do. Doesn't work for me. That's not. I need. And so, like I said, everybody is different.
Yeah.
For me, I know what works for me here, and so. I don't need to dip myself for 10 minutes and here, okay, and here, sauna, and then, and then so I've kind of I have found a pattern that has given me healing, not only just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. It's just kind of like I sleep better at night.
Yeah.
I've kind of cut down on the vices. The adult beverages, that kind of thing, better diet. Although I am a foodie. But
so am I.
Yeah.
For sure. As am I, for sure. Yeah. So I mean, the important thing here is that you got this rhythm going for you that is second to none. Because 90% of it is all mental and staying positive, and you're a lot more positive than I ever was as a kid growing up. So thanks for being that.
If I were still teaching and doing what I was doing, I would probably have to come here at night. Because my morning would be early, and then I taught till when I retired. Well, retired, I was still teaching adjunct faculty at SAC, Santa College. I would teach from 3:30 to 7:30.
Yeah, 3:30
to 6:30.
See, now you weren't married, because I would imagine most teachers, they
Married
go
twice.
into that. Married twice?
Yes.
What were the terms of those marriages? Did you stay long in those marriages, or were they long or short?
My first marriage was maybe, what was it? 79, maybe 6 years.
Okay.
I was just so busy, married young, my first teaching job.
You were married to your jobs, and 6 years
second,
not too
second
long.
marriage, we were both educators. We're still very good friends.
Oh yeah, that's what I noticed.
We were married in 90. We met in 87, got married in 90, and we're still friends. We got divorced in 2007. So 87.
You went deep into that with me.
20
last
years
time we
married.
spoke.
20 years married. We're still friends. Had kids. I was just so busy. So busy doing this and that.
Yeah.
In a relationship now. Had other relationships, but now I'm with somebody pretty steady for 7 years now.
7 years?
7 years.
This is going to be a third marriage, or is this? Is this
most likely?
Yeah, there.
I better say that, because I know if she sees this. Yeah. No, it's the real deal. So
you have to say that.
She likes to work out like me too.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. She's retired, and all the stuff I do physically, she does as well.
Yeah.
And when we, like I said, we were together at the hotels that had the cold plunge, so we would do it together. She also was, when we met, she was really into cold showers. So I said, you know what, this is kind of cool.
Your karma's on point, because everything's aligning for you.
Yeah, the stars, yeah.
Yeah.
So man, but other than that, no, this, like I said, and I would imagine a lot of athletes would come in here, because this is very beneficial, especially now when you're young. You go, I mean, I wish I would have had something like this when I was younger. Not that it would have helped.
No,
but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
1000%. I mean, I remember those practices. Even as a coach, I used to work out with the athletes. I mean, I would never ask. I was one of those coaches that whatever the athletes did in college, I did. We're running 2 miles, I'm running with it, and I'm leading the pack.
Yeah,
We're doing sprints. I'm doing the sprints too. I'm hands-on wrestling with the athletes. I'm cutting the weight. Just so I want to know what the wrestler's going through, so I know how far to push them. I would cut weight. I would do that, and I was competing when I was coaching college.
Yeah, wow.
I still competed. So
you were there with them every step of the way.
Every step of the way.
And I think
you can ask any one of them.
Yeah, that's your secret sauce. Then
I wish they had this. Now I really got hooked on the steam and sauna. Maybe we moved to Seal Beach that early 2000s when I really got hooked on steam and sauna.
But it was so tough, because the pharmaceutical industry, from what I heard, came in and sort of did their way of removing it and substituting that with a lot of pills and stuff.
Yeah.
It is what it is, right?
But now, the steam and sauna, I can't live without it. I got to have a steam sauna.
Yeah.
I just came. I come from the gym here, so I do my workout there, and then I'll shower there and everything, and then I'll come here and do my thing.
Yeah.
But steam sauna. I mean, you got to have. And that's one of the things that kind of kept me. I don't want to say young, but more vibrant, for your skin, and is that you're getting all that.
Dude, a lot of people agree that you're talking about that sex appeal is what you're trying to say.
I don't know if I have that, but I'm just saying.
Vibes.
Yeah, but at any rate, you would think more athletes would.
Oh yeah, the majority
here.
of the people here, I want to say it's between recovery and also physical recovery and mental recovery.
Yeah.
It's the top two. And so they're jiu-jitsu athletes, firefighters. They got to do this.
The mental recovery. Funny you should say that. Yeah, I think this is very good.
Yeah, it is.
Again, the research I've done: steam, sauna, cold plunging, hot tubbing. Man, it's so good for your mental state of mind. It really is. More people should do that. Addiction. I think this is really good for that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Before I let you go, I got to ask you this one question, because we had this asked us recently, whether or not it was ideal for a person of 15 years old to plunge. Do you feel there's an age requirement or restrictions with this? Because it was a mother asking for her 15-year-old football player's son.
As a coach, how the big thing was lifting weights. How early? I
agree. Yeah.
I say every kid's different.
Yeah.
Every kid
depends on what you want to as the output with your kid, right?
My girlfriend's daughter, she's a soccer player. She's made varsity as a freshman just this weekend. So, but she started off soccer really young, 3 years old, 4 years, and her dad had her training. which now it's paid off.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an active athlete, there's some. I played in high school against 15-year-olds that were varsity starting quarterbacks at Lakewood.
Yeah.
And if you're that kind of an athlete, you're going to need recovery.
Yeah.
You're going to need recovery. I mean, I'm just telling you how it is.
If you're old enough to play sports, then you're old enough to train.
Okay, if you're
plunging.
playing tackle football, I'm talking popcorn, what they're 9, 10.
Yeah.
You're going to feel the bruises. You're going to feel the aches. You're going to feel the pain. I don't care. There's no one that doesn't say, I don't feel any pain. Then you're not playing hard enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody, I mean, when I was playing at Golden West, and I was not an all-star or anything like that, it's mostly a special teams player. But man, but in practice, you're going live against starting offense. You know, that was a defensive back. You're hurt. You're just hurt. You're hurt.
Oh yeah.
And you can only imagine with these guys that are carrying the ball 30, 40 times a game, like they did back then. I mean, this would be. They didn't have this.
Practice alone. Kind of requires cold plunging and icing and all that stuff. Let alone the games.
Time you have to practice is come here for 5-10 minutes, in and out. You know, it's kind of as much as you could take. Soak, get in the hot tub, you're done. I would even suggest even the sauna.
You would suggest the sauna?
Yeah, I would even think that for a 15-year-old. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because your hormones have changed more or less at that time. You know, you're more. I would definitely say, as a high school ex-athlete, college, and that raised my kids.
Now there's reports out of like the Russians. They would pretty much train their kids out in the cold as soon as they're maybe like an infant.
Tough kids
at
out
6
there.
months or so. Right?
My nephew went to Russia to wrestle, and I've wrestled Russians. It's different there.
Yes.
It's different.
There's a whole nation of fighters that couldn't agree with you more.
They don't have what we have. It's a very tough, rigid. And I had friends that wrestled around the world that were on the Olympic teams that told me how it was in Hungary and Bulgaria and Russia. It's just kids are different there. They're raised in that cold. They're raised to be tough. They're raised to work.
Yeah.
And if you're an athlete, you start young.
Yeah. And they were wrestling bears, as I recall.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so it's different. Heck, even the United States is different. It's different in the South. Football's different. You go to Alabama and Georgia. Yeah. People even it's different there than here in LA at USC and UCLA. It's a different breed.
Yeah. Hey, we mostly recruit, as a former USC alum, we mostly recruit from people that come through the more
the South.
Yeah.
The dirty rotten South is
tough bread towns.
TI would call it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I thank you for